Ladies and gentlemen, it is tier list time once again. This time I'm going to be doing a tier list of, as I scroll up here, AFL greats from the 2000s onwards. So we've got some old school players. If we scroll all the way down here, the players who are still playing, there's really not that many. We're going to be doing this tier list from S all the way to too young that don't have enough games. But you know what? Instead of this, I'm going to project into the future. So for the likes of Dacos, obviously really young, I'm projecting. I can't just put him in F. That's a bit boring. We're gonna spice things up and try and look into the very distant future and see where he is up against some of these retired stars. Starting off with Dane Swan, who is a fantastic talent. Look, a lot of this will be sort of changed as I go along, but in terms of a talent, Brownlow medal, elite big game player, it's got to be up towards the A's and B's. There are better, and there have been players who have been more consistent, but like in his prime, in that 010, 011, 12 seasons, he was magical to watch. The Anzac Day games, the big game player he was, fantastic. Moving on to Sean Burgoyne. Sean Burgoyne's an interesting one. Never was as good as Dane Swan, and I don't think many people will be able to dispute that. But in terms of his influence on the game, the clubs he played at, the flags he won as well, he definitely is up there. We all know he's played the most amount of games for an Indigenous player, but in terms of the talent, is it there to warrant him an A or an S, a B? I'm not so sure. For now, we're gonna leave him in B. Dane Swan, for example, played less games, but was better. So where does that compare him to Burgoyne, who played more games but wasn't as good? Awfully consistent, won loads of flags with two different clubs. He's an icon, one of the best Indigenous players we've ever seen. But is he higher than a B? Maybe. We'll revitalise that. Let's not get caught up in it too much now. And Tom Mitchell, I'm putting this in, where does it go? In terms of the stars here, we'll put him in F for now. Yes, he's won the Brownlow, but I didn't think he was that good that season, although he was probably the best player. To be honest, he probably is not the worst player. It sounds bad to say, but yeah, maybe he's the worst player on this list. We might revitalise this to a D actually for now, just in case there's someone worse I haven't quite seen. And to be honest, F is a really harsh category, but this is just what the tier list has come. So we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna move on to Jimmy Bartel. Jimmy Bartel, I'm a massive fan of. He was one of my favorite players growing up. He is a big game performer with a Coleman medal, a Norm Smith medal, sorry. Didn't win the Coleman medal. Brownlows. So winning a Brownlow and a Norm Smith makes you a phenomenal player regardless. The flags he won as well. Comparable to Dane Swan, I think so. I've not got their games or their accolades here. I'm strictly going off my memory. So maybe I'm overrating some players. Maybe I'm forgetting accolades that certain players have won, but I do know for sure Jimmy Bartel is elite. Trent Cotchin, my bias wants to put him in S, the greatest Richmond captain arguably ever. 3-time premiership flag winner, 3-time captain of a flag, which is super important. He's technically won that Brownlow medal as well, which we cannot forget, but I still think Joe Watson probably deserved that. Very contentious, we'll skip forward. But in the context of all these players, I'm gonna drop him down to C. I think he's better than Mitchell, but he's not in the Burgoyne stratosphere. So I think I'm happy with that C category there. And that's coming from a Richmond fan. Tom Stewart. Wow, okay, he's still pretty young. In fact, how old is he? Okay, he's 31 years old, so he's not entirely young. Maybe a couple more good seasons here or there. Depends how his body holds up. And it hasn't been holding up really well recently, so maybe he's past his prime. But in terms of a defender, he did come into the system quite late. But as a defender, there's arguably none better in his size in this list. Once again, I haven't really looked too far into the future, but I'm going to put him as a C for now again. Maybe, it's hard. I think the thing with Stewart is everyone so far has been somewhat of a midfielder. He is the first non-midfielder I've seen on this list. Obviously, there are some defenders and forwards, but in terms of a defender, he's pretty good. So that's why I want to put him in C. I'm not saying he's better than Mitchell, but he's a better defender compared to defenders than what Mitchell is compared to midfielders. Does that make sense? Moving swiftly on to Dangerfield, we're going to put Dangerfield in the A category. I'm not going to put an S or an F for now, maybe unless there's a super obvious one. But Dangerfield, happy with him in A. We all know the All-Australians, Brownlow, now has finally won his flag. He's just not a big game player, which I think is super important to be. Because he's not that, I arguably wouldn't put him above Dane Swan or Jimmy Bartel. But we will revitalise this. In fact, you know what, we'll probably have to put him there. Moving on to Adam Goodes. Adam Goodes is also an A. Fantastic player, fantastic career. Super versatile. In fact, the most versatile player arguably in history to play ruck, midfield, wing, forward, anything you want, Adam Goodes could do. Big game player as well. Brownlow winner, phenomenal footballer. Super tempted to put him in S, Where does he rank among these stars? It's a hard one. I think one of before or after Danger. We'll just put him after for now because, like I said, Dangerfield's not a big game player. And that's not a good thing. Who is this? James Hird. Oh, fuck. This is a problem now. There's so many good players that now we have got an overload of A's. Anyway, James Hird in A, definitely could be an S. Where does he rank among these fellas? I think he ranks maybe there. He didn't play as many games as some of the players, but in terms of the influence, fuck, he was good. Ackermanis, hear me out. On his day, S. Charisma, S. What he brought to the game, S. Big game player, S. But overall career, B. I'm going to balance that out to an A yet again. Now, I will have to revitalize this A category because there's far too many in there. But, I mean, what can you say about Acker? One of the greats. Matty Scarlett, probably the greatest defender on this list. Now, for now, I'm going to put him in A, but I might change this. I want to put one of each position in S, so we'll revitalize that when it comes. Moving swiftly on, Dale Thomas in the D category, really exciting, but didn't win many accolades, never won an All-Australian. Did he win an All-Australian? I'm not so sure he did. Look, he's exciting, but in terms of the careers of some of these talents, he's down low. Fev, Fev. We'll put him in B, fantastic. I mean, if he just had a different latter end of his career, he could be just behind Buddy Franklin, but the way it ended, which was not good, leaving Carlton and then absolutely having a horror. He played well at Brisbane, but then obviously shit hit the fan. You know, pressure point! We all know Fev, absolutely hilarious fucker. In terms of charisma for the game, in the S category with Acker, but put him in B for now, because I assume there are some elite forwards to come. Moving swiftly on, Ben Cousins. Wow, okay, now see, this is the problem. There's just too many good players here. I'm gonna be really harsh and put Ben Cousins in B for now. I don't agree with it. I want to put him in A. You know, we'll put him in A. We'll leave him in A. I want to move really quick now. Lloydie, amazing, but are they better? In my opinion, yes. Unfortunately for Brad and Chris Scott, they weren't really amazing. I believe Chris Scott played more and played better from memory. He's definitely played more games, and I think was the better player. So whilst we're here, we'll put them both in this category. In terms of who's probably better, we'll put, yeah, Chris over Brad. Chris Judd, definitely in the A category, non-negotiable. Paddy Cripps, will he get there? I don't think, he's won the Brownlow, and he honestly might win the Brownlow this year. Depends on when I release this. He is on fire. He could keep continuing on. But, I don't know, maybe it's a nostalgia thing for me, looking at Ben Cousins, Chris Judd, looking at those names, you know, Acker, James Hird. Maybe that's just nostalgia bias. Is there recency bias, though, if I put Cripps above them? I'm not so sure. I just like the old school midfielder more. We'll keep Cripps in B. At the end of his career, will he be better than Chris Judd? I still think no. But it could be better than Jimmy Bartel. In fact, we should probably start revitalizing this. I'm going to move Jimmy Bartel, Ben Cousins, Ackermanis. Do I take Swan down? Yep, the Swan's coming down as well. We will revitalize the B category for a later date. Robert Harvey, most games, but in terms of influence and like loads of influence on North Melbourne in the competition, but was never one of the best players in the comp, to be completely honest. Dustin Martin, let's be S. In fact, let's just put the S's we know who are S's, okay? The ones that we don't have to think about too hard. We'll put some contentious ones. Obviously, I've just put Judd in there. I've just put Wayne Carey. As a human being, Wayne Carey all the way to the F category. I want to say some of the stories firsthand that mates have seen of Wayne Carey, but I will get shut down and hunted by the AFL, just like the Boeing whistleblower was. So we'll ignore that. Yeah, Chris Judd, Wayne Carey in there. Buddy Franklin goes in there, and the Little Master goes in there as well. Those, for me, have to be in that category. We will sort out where they belong there, but for now, let's just put them there and let's move swiftly on. Sam Mitchell, really talented footballer. Was he better than some of these players in B? Oh, maybe not. We'll put him in super talented, but he's won all the flags. Okay, fine. We'll put him in B. We'll put him in B for now. Bucks, I think Bucks has to go in A. He didn't win the flag, but he was super exciting to watch. In fact, the more I look at this, I just feel like, it's hard. Oh man, this list is actually annoying me now because all these players are elite. Joel Selwood has to go in A, as does his counterpart, Scott Pendlebury. Amazing captains, amazing players, just never won the Brownlow, unfortunately. I think this is Dustin Fletcher, I'm pretty sure. Fletch, in terms of look, defenders. Let's talk about defenders really quick. We've got Tom Stewart. I'll put them all in the F category for now. Scarlett, Fletch. Tom Stewart's not a key defender, but whatever. Burgoyne, he did play defender in there, but let's not include him in that, as did Bartel. Corey Enright was definitely a defender. Luke Hodge, definitely a defender. Okay, so from my understanding, they're all the predominant defenders. For me, Matty Scarlett's the best. Also, where's Alex Rance in this list? Whatever. Alex Rance, Matty Scarlett's the best from the list. Then for me goes Fletch. Then, oh, actually, hold the fuck on. Hodge, Scarlett, Fletch, Enright, Stewart. So if we're balancing that out, for me, Hodge has to go in S, Scarlett in A, Fletch in B, Enright in C, Stewart in D. I think that makes sense. Okay, let's continue on with this list. Petrarca, unfortunately, hasn't played as long as others, but we're projecting his career. I think he'll have a pretty decent career. Maybe the C, we'll be honest. Max Gawn, one of the greatest rucks of all time. Let's put Gawn in the B category. There are actually no other rucks. There's no Dean Cox, none of those types. So we'll put him in B for now, Gawn. Simon Black, great player as well, needs to go in B. Jack Riewoldt. Okay, how about let's do the same with defenders, but with forwards. So we've already got Fev in there. Obviously, we'll get Buddy as well. Any other forwards? John O'Brown's down there. Beautiful. Oh, Tom Hawkins. Lol. Yeah, he's got to go. Oh, as does Stevie J. Okay, cool. So we've got our predominant forwards here. Maybe you could say, yeah, obviously Ackermanis, Dane Swan also played forward, Goods, Hurd. We're going to keep them where they are for now. The best of the best is obviously Buddy Franklin, get him back in S. Wayne Carey was also a forward, but we'll put him, obviously keep it in S. Who is the worst of these forwards in terms of the career? It's going to be harsh, but probably Jonathan Brown. And then probably, I will put Hawkins and Jack in C. I'll put Stevie J in D with Brown, and then I'll put Lloyd and Fev in the in the B category, sorry. That might be harsh, but whatever. Bontempelli, I think he can get to the greats, and as can Nick Dacos. Career projection, Dacos could be him. Lockie Neal, unfortunately for Lockie Neal, I personally don't rate him. That's an agenda. He has on 2 Brownlows, however, so you would have to put him in at least B. Some would have him higher, but I'm a hater. Cameron Ling, one of the greatest taggers of all time, but for a player, I didn't rate him that much. We'll keep him in C for now. Nick Riewoldt, I completely did not see Nick Riewoldt. I apologize for that. That's going to piss a lot of people off. Where does Rui compare to his cousin Jack? Pretty similar, if not the same. Is it controversial to put him in C and not in B? I prefer Jack, but I'm a Richmond fan. So we'll keep him there for now, but that might have to change. That might have to really change. Didn't win the flag either, which is unfortunate. Chapman was a great player, but they were just better on this list. Same with Prutis. Watson was great, but once again, I think that's just better. Fife, I think Fife is comparable to Dangerfield. Mark Rasciuto, also fantastic. Probably A. Crawford, one of the great midfielders. Didn't see him play that much, so I'll put him in B. Michael Voss, one of the great midfielders as well. Probably needs to go in A. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who this guy is. Is it Lockyer or something? Because I don't know who that is, and that's just my fault, let's put him down in D. So this is not the finished list. Let's revitalize things. Who needs to go into F? Who do I think belongs in this F category? Scott Brothers, you won many flags, but you really aren't as good as some of the others on this category. I don't know who you are, so you go in F as well. Probably Dale Thomas for me hasn't done enough. Chapman, you're on the fringe. Stewart for me, and Mitchell, you're also on the fringes there. Jobe Watson and Jonathan Brown for me have the potential to move up to C. The worst of the C, we'll go Track's probably the worst there. The one who should probably move up is Nick Riewoldt, but because I've got Tom Hawkins and Jack Riewoldt there, Jack's also probably going to move up too. But Tom Hawkins is so, it's hard. This is a problem. These players are so good. And nostalgia bias, Fev and Lloyd, they've got to stay there. Lockie Neal, Crawford. Okay, who's the best of the best? For me, the absolute best is this motherfucker. And then, so Gary Ablett, then Lance Franklin, then Dustin Martin. Wayne Carey, unfortunately, has to be up there. Chris Judd, Luke Hodge. Happy with that. Hurd, Goods, Dangerfield. I prefer many others to you. Let's just put you there. I prefer probably Fife to Danger. I think Danger's overrated. Dacos, Mark Rasciuto. Oh, what a player. Fucking hell. Prefer Pendles to Selwood. Bucks, amazing. The B category, who could probably move up here? Well, obviously Swanee is a really contentious one. He could easily move up. Hawthorn fans will want Crawford to move up. I'm sure Lockie Neal, Brisbane fans are screaming right now. Fev as well, Carlton fans. Essendon fans were saying, how is Lloyd not in the A category? To be honest, I don't have a forward, like a full forward in the A category, so who was better out of Lloyd and Fev? I think Fev is just a hood classic. Like, he, in his prime, on his day, was the best. Yes, he didn't win a flag like Lloyd did. like Jack Revot did, like Tom Hawkins did, like Buddy did, like Carey did. Yes, he didn't win that, but I still think just for the culture. But, you know, Lloyd kicked far more goals, so we'll go with Lloyd. And then I'm also, oh, wow. If I had to move one of Jack, Nick, or maybe I'd keep them all in that category there, Jack, Nick, and Tom Hawkins. Ackermanis should probably move up with Dane Swan. In fact, I'm gonna move Dane Swan up. Dane Swan is so cultured, but that's such bias. I just love watching him play. The more I look at this list, the more I hate it. Max Gawn could easily go in A, but I think there's just better players, but he's the best ruck in this list. Ben Cousins, oh my God. Ben Cousins could easily go in A. In fact, should he go in A? Oh, fuck. Can anyone move into the S category from here? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. People would put Danger, maybe Fife in there. People might put, fucking, this is shit. No, this is actually shit. I've definitely, like, whenever I watch these videos back, I always think, what was I thinking? And I'm gonna be thinking that about probably, you know, Akka. I'm probably going to be thinking that about half the players in this list. Can anyone move down from here, to be honest? Okay, I'll move Dacos into B, but I do think Dacos can easily get to the Fifes, the Dangers, those sort of, that legacy. But just because it's super young, we'll keep him in B for now. Okay, I won't go too hard on that. And I want to balance the books out a little bit more. Watson, you want a Brownlow in my eyes, but are you there? Okay, you know what? I think I'm happy with that. Well, I'm not happy with it, but I'm content. You know, I'm like, whatever with it. In fact, Cripps, you can come down there. Okay, now I think oh, Dacos, you should probably move down there. Okay, now, oh no, gone. Fuck. Bartel. Oh, Bartel's had a better career than Swan, so. Okay, that's the list. No, it's not. Okay, oh, fuck. Oh, does Mark Rashudo, is he comparable to Swan? Yeah, of course. You know what? I'm stopping. That's it. I can't take it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Fuck, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Follow the TikTok, FTFooty. This list is horrible, but probably slightly correct. I should do more research about, you know, who kicked the most goals, games played, you know, Ben Cousins, Voss, Mark Rashudo, Lloyd. I wasn't in that timeline. Hurd. I was super young then. Chris Judd. Their primes I wasn't there for. But I know ball, and this is the list.